So welcome back everybody to doing my Blu-ray collection, and yeah, we're going to be not looking at a single label today. We're just going to be looking at 4K films, because I don't have all that many 4K films, but the ones I do have are the ones that I really rather love, and there's also a few collector's editions in there as well. So we're going to start off with the one that I got most recently, and that is Alien on the 40th anniversary 4K version. I got this purely because HMV were having it on half price, so instead of 20 I got it for 10, which is more than worthwhile enough for a 4K version. And yeah, this is supposed to be really a great 4K transfer, so really looking forward to trying it out. And yeah, unfortunately it's unlikely that we're going to get Aliens out on 4K because Disney now own 20th Century Fox, and they're not putting much out in physical forms, unfortunately. Then I have Kong Skull Island. Not the best Kong film by any means, but still a really good film, and yeah, a solid entry in the Monsterverse. And another solid entry in the Monsterverse, even though it's not as good as the first film, which we'll see later on, is Godzilla King of the Monsters. So yeah, I do really rather enjoy this film. I know some people don't, and I can perfectly see why, but I just adore this film. The sound, the cinematography, the special effects, the score, and the monsters that are featured are all great. The visuals are just absolutely sumptuous, especially all the stuff featuring Mothra. So yeah, really solid entry in the Monsterverse. Not the best, but yeah, could have been a lot worse given a lot of sequels have sequelitis nowadays. And then we have Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. I saw this at the cinema, absolutely adored it. It's easily my favourite DC film in a long time, and yeah, just got lots of nice bright colours, lots of interesting characters, and yeah, it's really funny from beginning to end. Then we have something a bit older, Apocalypse Now, the final cut. I've not yet seen the final cut, but I have seen the standard version, and I really do adore that film, so I'm interested to see what the final cut has over the original cut, because it is longer. It's like 3 hours or so. Yeah, the final cut is 183 minutes long, so 3-hour film, but I have no problem with lengthy films if they're they make the most of their runtime. Then another war film, although from a completely different war, 1917, based on around the events during World War One. Not sure if it's entirely true to life, but whatever. It's yeah, we don't get many World War One films, probably because the villains and the good guys are a little less clear cut in World War One over World War Two, which is understandable. So yeah, but a great film, and yeah, the cinematography on that is superb. Then for something completely different, Le Mans 66, or Ford versus Ferrari as it was known in some areas. I love cars, because obviously I do a lot of gameplay videos on cars and review cars and all that lot. So yeah, this is just a superb film again. Saw this at the cinema, and yeah, absolutely adored it. And yeah, again, acting, sound, cinematography, action, all spectacular really. So yeah, superb film. If you're into cars, even if you're not into cars, you'll still enjoy that. Another vehicle-orientated movie though, and one of the first 4Ks I actually bought, Mad Max Fury Road. Amazing film, easily one of the best cinema experiences that I've ever had in my life, and yeah, wish I could see it again at the cinema. And I'm really annoyed that I never went for a second time, but there we go. And yeah, relentlessly great score, action, cast, all superb. And then a sequel to a film I also have in a special edition version, just like I have with one of the Godzilla films, Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. I actually prefer this to the original. I know some people don't, but I think it delves into its world a lot better than the first film, and visually and humour-wise, I think it's also better. So yeah, but unfortunately, we never got a third film to cap off that trilogy, which was the plan to start with. So yeah, that is a great shame. And moving on to my favourite Star Wars film, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. And yeah, absolutely adore this film. I'm a big fan of the Star Wars world, but the films generally don't make the most of that world, whereas this I think really does. And because it's not focused on Jedi or lightsabers or anything like that, I think it makes the most of its world as it steps away from the norm that we've come to know with Star Wars. And it's also got one of the best action scenes ever at the end. Right, now we're moving on to the more special edition versions. First one is Logan. Now this comes with the black and white noir version. Not seen it in that version yet, but the standard film in its own right is absolutely amazing. Easily one of the best superhero films out there. And it comes with a poster, but unfortunately I still have that on my wall, so I can't show it here. But it does also come with art cards. So, yeah, some really rather nice ones. And then you've got Hugh Jackman smoking his cigar. Smoking another cigar. And another cigar. I don't know why I have two of them. And there he is getting all angry as usual. And there he is looking really rather cool. So, yeah, nice art cards. Nice poster as well. And, yeah, looks superb on 4K. And then we have V for Vendetta. Now this came out just before the 5th of November last year. So, it was amazing to see it on that night. And, yeah. Really nice steelbook with Natalie Portman on the front. Unfortunately, the back, despite looking really rather nice, has a bunch of corporate guff on the bottom, so you can't really show that off, unfortunately. But that's just the way it is. And yeah, the 4K itself is actually in red, which is, you don't often see them in different colours of discs. And it also came with a domino pin. If you've seen the film, you know the significance of the dominoes. And yeah, there you go. It's got a nice pin with it. It's really rather nice. And then we have Knives Out, one of the best, you know, murder mystery films ever made, and yeah, massive surprise when how good it actually was, because yeah, it could have easily flopped, but it didn't, and I'm really rather glad because yeah, superb cast and a great plot, a really engrossing one at that. So yeah, you get a bunch of art cards with this. So you got the standard poster, which is rather nice. It means you don't have to deal with any of the casting names or any of the reviews that are put on it. And then you got a bunch of the characters, all with their little you know, single line to tell you who they are or what they are, So yeah, superb cast. Daniel Craig is actually amazing. I love his accent in that, which was a surprise that he actually pulled off an American accent, given when he did that in one of the Tomb Raider films. He was absolutely awful. So yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis as per usual, superb. And there's Catherine, Keith Stanfield, Michael Shannon, as per usual, great. He was really good in Boardwalk Empire, if you've never seen that. And Toni Collette putting in another great performance, especially during that time when she was also in Hereditary, which was also superb. And then you've also got one of the books from the character that actually dies, Harlan Thrombey, which you can read. I have yet to read it actually, but I imagine it's pretty good. And then we have another vehicle-orientated film, The Fast and the Furious. This came out for its 20th anniversary. And it came with a really nice steelbook, which will definitely be going up on my wall at some point. But again, the back is nice, but there's a little bit of a corporate guff on the bottom, so that's a bit annoying. Yeah, as per usual, you get the 4K and the Blu-ray, which is, again, really rather nice. And it came with a bunch of art cards. It came with a script excerpt. I won't go through all them all because there's so many of them, but you also get the cars of the Fast and Furious. So you get, you know, Brian's Supra, the Eclipse, the Charger, amazing car. Did I show the Eclipse? There you go. And then you also got like the Skyline and the Jetta, the S2000. So yeah, nice addition. I've not yet watched it on the 4K because I'm kind of waiting until the next film comes out until I go through the films again. But yeah, still a really nice collection. And then we have Batman Begins, my favourite of the Nolan trilogy, to be honest. I know Dark Knight has a lot going for it, but this for me is my favourite version. It's got a good mix of the Tim Burton style while also still, you know, being its own thing. So yeah, nice little booklet going through all sorts of things, and then you get a bonus disc as well. To go with the Blu-ray, but the 4K is where it's at. And yeah, nice little book case on that. Then Hellboy. Obviously, we've already seen Hellboy 2, but you get, you know, all the usual kind of stuff. You get a nice poster with it, which is just a standard one, but you don't have to deal with any of the reviews or anything that would come with a poster like this normally, so that's nice. Then, again, loads of art cards, so yeah, the usual really, and then a booklet to go with it. Just going through the film, talking about it, and etc. etc. Doesn't come in the thickest of cases though, as you can see. But it's still, you know, nice enough done. 4K and the Blu-ray. Then we move on to one of my favourite films of the last few years, Godzilla. This is a cine edition from HMV, and it looks absolutely glorious. I love all the Japanese, you know, words that they've put all over the place instead of just making it look like the American version. So yeah, it comes in a slipcase. Again, you got art cards galore, and also comes with a poster, which is the box art, which is cool. And yeah, you just got the 4K and the Blu-ray in the case, as you'd expect. So yeah, I really do like that artwork that they've given it. It's really nice. Nothing special about the discs or anything, although I do like the back print on the 4K. And finally, not just one of my favourite films of the last few years, but one of my favourite special editions in the last few years, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Easily one of my favourite Quentin Tarantino films. And yeah, it's an absolutely superb edition, as I'll show you off. So yeah, love it. Absolutely adore it. And yes, that is a vinyl in the middle. And it comes with a Mad magazine to skit on the show that is in the film. Also comes with a poster that is from one of the films featured in the film, or at least talked about. So I'll show you. This was actually designed by a well-known artist who does films, so it's Operazione Dynamite. So yeah, I can't show you all off because it's actually quite a tall poster, not very wide though. And yeah, then the vinyl as well. As you can see, I've played this several times, and it's a superb sounding vinyl. So you've got Bring a Little Lovin' on the back by the Los Bravos, and then on the other side you've got Good Thing by Paul Revere and the Raiders. Two great songs in this film, and yeah, it sound absolutely superb on vinyl. Really did not expect them to ever put a vinyl in a special Blu-ray. And then you got your vinyl thing in the middle there to make the vinyl fit on the player. I don't know how it works really. And then the 4K and the Blu-ray at the same time as well there. So yeah, really adore the look of this thing, and yeah, it was expensive, but then the best things really are. And then you've also got all of the artwork on the rear then as well. So there's the cast, setting, and the poster. So yeah, I adore 4Ks. There are a lot that don't really need to be on 4K some of the time, but all the ones I've bought here I do think deserve to be on 4K, either because they look great, or they look better on 4K, or they're action orientated and they deserve that extra colour that you get out of a 4K film. So yeah, recommend all of these films, to be honest. And yeah, we'll be moving on to Second Sight in the next video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you there. Bye.